I am a forest and a night of dark trees, but he who is not afraid of my darkness will find banks full of roses under my crepices. The forest is an easy lesson of vulnerability and uncertainty, but within the forest resides creatures, many of whom are hidden in dark spaces. There are shadows in the forest. There are trails to unknown destinations. There are also clearings, brooks, and flowers in the forest. In the forest, one might hear birdsong or happen upon a majestic view. We could avoid the forest to stay safe and avoid getting lost, but at what cost? Whoever fights with monsters should see to it that in the process he does not become a monster. And if you gaze long enough into the abyss will gaze back into you. And all means is an action where immense pain or suffering, either mental or physical, is purposefully inflicted on a human being for the purpose of gaining information, a confession, punishment, or just to add more evil in this world. In the wake of the 9/11 attacks, the Bush administration and the Department of Justice devised an extensive counterintelligence program to be carried out by the CIA that still goes on to this day. However bad you thought America's torture program was, it was worse. The Senate Select Committee on Intelligence released a 500-plus page report detailing the CIA's torture abuses. We put hummus in a man's rectum. We threatened to rape a man's mother. Americans threatened to rape a man's mother in front of him. We made people stand in stress positions for months on end, leaving them to kiss the wounded parts of themselves and heal, and at night while we slept, they kept walking the tightrope. We were torturers. There's not another word for it. We were not interrogators. It was not enhanced interrogation. We were torturers. The most damning thing in the entire report is a single sentence that wipes away any possible justification for what we could have been doing this for, stating that CIA officers regularly called into question whether the CIA's enhanced interrogation techniques were effective, assessing that the use of techniques failed to elicit detainee cooperation or produce accurate intelligence. Regularly, CIA officers said, "This is not working." That is also, by the way, what the Senate investigators found too. They looked at 20 examples where the CIA said that the practice led to actual intelligence. They found in each example that there were huge flaws in the report. It was clear that torture had nothing to do with it. Under torture, you are as if under the domain of those grasses that produce visions. Everything you have heard, told, everything you have read returns to your mind, as if you are being transported, not toward heaven, but toward hell. Under torture, you say not only what the Inquisitor wants, but also what you imagine might please him, because a bond is established between you and him. We betrayed our values. We betrayed who we are. For what? We betrayed it because we thought if they were brutal and without mercy, we had to be too. Not realizing the race stops at the start and the finish line is where it begins, so this time the first one to lose wins. This won't stop without us though. You can help by donating to the United Nations Human Rights Convention Against Torture or the Center for Victims of Torture. You can promote a human rights respecting community. You can connect with organizations that work to address torture, or just talk about issues relating to torture and speak out against torture. Finally, be courageous. Courage is contagious, and sometimes courage is needed to speak out against controversial issues. Show the world that an eye for an eye really does make the world blind.